Here we go again. Newcastle meet RB Leipzig's £70 million Benjamin Sesko asking price as they look to beat Man United to top transfer target. Eddie Howe's side have immediately met the Bundesliga club's asking price, with Manchester United also tussling for the 22-year-old signature. Newcastle have offered €75 million, £65.5 million, plus €5 million, £4.3 million, in add-ons, which matches Leipzig's high valuation. Sesko, who was today left out of Leipzig's squad for their friendly against Atalanta, reportedly has a gentleman's agreement in place with his club and they will not stand in his way should an appropriate offer arrive. Both Man United and Newcastle have held talks with his representatives and it's understood that the player is open to moving to either club. Sesko, who was also linked with Arsenal, has scored 39 goals in 87 games for Leipzig since joining from Red Bull Salzburg 2 years ago. Reports in Slovenia overnight suggested that Sesko had chosen Newcastle over Ruben Amorim's side. But other outlets claim Sesko's still weighing up his options. Man United were thought to be his preferred destination, but Newcastle offer Champions League football and are ready to close the deal right now. While the Red Devils have no European football at all this season and will need to take time while negotiating a possible move. Man United's interest is led by Director of Recruitment Christopher Vivell, who previously worked with Sesko at RB Salzburg and has described the 6'4" forward as having the potential to become one of the world's top strikers. And if Sesko does indeed join the Tyneside outfit, it leaves the door open for Newcastle to let Alexander Isak move on for what will surely be a Premier League transfer record. Isak has been left sweating on his dream move to Liverpool after the Premier League champions lowballed Newcastle with an opening offer. Liverpool had a formal bid of £110 million rejected by Newcastle, going in with a figure £10 million less than what they had offered informally last month. Newcastle have slapped a whopping £150 million price tag on their prized asset Isak, who was their most expensive signing at £68 million and scored 23 Prem goals last season. Newcastle have made clear that no sale will go ahead unless a suitable replacement is secured, and Sesko is the ideal man. Manager Howe says Newcastle will always try do things the right way when it comes to transfers. Howe said, "In terms of trying to upset players and all that kind of stuff, from my perspective, we can only talk about our conduct. We try to do things in the right way. Signing players is always complex. We just try to do what we think is right. I can't talk about other clubs, that's not for me to say." Onslaught's side had hijacked Newcastle's move for Hugo Ekitike, who they signed from Eintracht Frankfurt for £79 million last month. Isak is pushing for a move and has been training alone at former club Real Sociedad, having pulled out of the Magpies pre-season tour with an apparent thigh issue. Sesko scored 21 goals in all competitions last season and has 16 goals in 41 senior appearances for Slovenia. He has drawn comparisons to Erling Haaland for his blend of height, pace and finishing, and is seen by Newcastle as a ready-made replacement for Isak. But Man United could be forced to go back to the drawing board in their quest to find a prolific No. 9. Amorim's side struggled badly in front of goal last season and were hoping Sesko would be the final piece in a new look-forward line. Newcastle were worried about losing out on Sesko, so shifted their attentions to Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins this week. Newcastle have also been in talks with Brentford to sign Yoane Wissa, but Sesko will be the priority now. Sesko and Watkins formed Man United's two-man shortlist, but Villa are not looking to sell the England frontman this summer. Rasmus Højlund's future remains unclear, with the Dane insisting he wants to stay and fight for his place. Newcastle just made their move, the £70 million battle for Benjamin Sesko that could change everything. What happens when two Premier League giants go head-to-head for one of Europe's hottest young strikers? We're about to find out. Newcastle United has just thrown down the gauntlet in spectacular fashion, meeting RB Leipzig's eye-watering £17 million asking price for Benjamin Sesko. But here's the twist: Manchester United isn't backing down either. This isn't just another transfer rumour. This is a full-blown battle that could shape both clubs' futures for years to come. So, what's really going on behind the scenes? And why is everyone suddenly scrambling for this 22-year-old Slovenian striker? Manchester United, the other player in this drama. Of course, Newcastle isn't the only club interested in Sesko. Manchester United is right there in the mix too, and they are not about to give up easily. United has also held talks with Sesko's representatives. They are looking for a striker who can help them get back to challenging for major trophies. After struggling with their forward line in recent seasons, they see Sesko as a potential solution to their problems. But here's where it gets tricky for United. While they are definitely interested, they haven't matched Newcastle's bid yet. Are they waiting to see what happens? Are they trying to negotiate a lower price? Or maybe they are confident that Sesko would prefer to join them over Newcastle. The truth is, both clubs have their advantages. Newcastle can offer immediate first-team football and a clear role in their system. United, on the other hand, can offer the prestige of playing for one of the world's biggest clubs and the chance to compete in European competitions regularly. Which offer would you find more tempting if you were in Sesko's shoes? The Leipzig situation, why they are willing to sell. This is where the story gets even more interesting. RB Leipzig isn't desperately trying to keep Sesko at all costs. In fact, they seem pretty open to letting him go if the price is right. Reports suggest there's a gentleman's agreement between Leipzig, Sesko, and his representatives. Basically, the club has promised they won't stand in his way if a good offer comes in. That's exactly what's happening now. But why would Leipzig be willing to sell one of their best players? Well, it's not that simple. Leipzig has always been a club that develops young talent and then sells them for big profits. It's part of their business model. They bought Sesko from Red Bull Salzburg 2 years ago, gave him the platform to develop and prove himself, and now they're in a position to make a huge profit. From their perspective, it makes perfect business sense. Plus, Leipzig knows they can use that £70 million to bring in multiple players who could strengthen their squad overall. Sometimes, selling one big-name player can actually make the whole team better. What this means for both Newcastle and Manchester United. Let's break down what getting Sesko would mean for each club. For Newcastle, landing Sesko would be a massive statement. It would show that they can compete with the biggest clubs for the best young talent. Having a proven goalscorer would give them a real chance of qualifying for European competitions again. Sesko would fit perfectly into Eddie Howe's system. He's the kind of striker who can hold up the ball, bring others into play, and finish chances when they come. With players like Bruno Fernandes and Alexander Isak already at the club, Newcastle could have a really exciting attack. For Manchester United, missing out on Sesko would be disappointing, but getting him would solve a lot of problems. Gianluigi Donnarumma transfer, Man United interested in Paris Saint-Germain goalkeeper with uncertainty over Andre Onana future. Gianluigi Donnarumma has 1 year left on his PSG contract and Man United are interested in bringing him to Old Trafford. Champions League winners are close to signing Lille's Lucas Chevalier, current United keeper Andre Onana under pressure after errors. Donnarumma has entered the final year of his contract and PSG are close to signing a new keeper in Lille's Lucas Chevalier. The Italy international is in no rush to make a decision over his future and is willing to compete with Chevalier for the #1 spot. It is still a possibility that he stays with the Champions League winners beyond this summer. However, United's interest throws the future of Andre Onana into doubt. The Cameroon international is with the squad in the United States, but is currently sidelined with a hamstring injury. Gianluigi Donnarumma would be a massive signing for Man United, both literally and figuratively. The 6 feet 5 inches Italy shotstopper is an enormous presence in the goalmouth and is regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the business. It feels like Donnarumma went to even greater heights last season, playing a crucial role in Paris Saint-Germain's incredible season. Commanding in League One, a shootout star against Liverpool in the Champions League and formidable with 5 clean sheets in 8 games at the Club World Cup, Donnarumma would be a huge coup for United if they could get a deal done. Andre Onana has been in the spotlight since he had that let-off against Wolves in his Premier League debut, and uncertainty about the current United keeper has fed the nervousness and lack of conviction about Ruben Amorim's backline. His total of 8 errors leading to goals since the start of 2023-24 is more than any other goalkeeper in the Premier League. Donnarumma would be a substantial upgrade. From next season, Sky Sports Premier League coverage will increase from 128 matches to at least 215 games exclusively live. And 80% of all televised Premier League games next season are on Sky Sports. Is Gianluigi Donnarumma really coming to Manchester United? Here's what we know. Picture this, one of the world's best goalkeepers might be packing his bags and leaving Paris for Manchester. Sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what football fans are talking about right now. Gianluigi Donnarumma, the giant Italian goalkeeper who has been guarding PSG's goalposts, could be on his way to Old Trafford. And if you're a Manchester United fan, this news might just make your day. But if you support PSG, well, you might want to sit down for this one. The contract problem that started it all. Here's the thing about football contracts, they're everything. And Donnarumma's contract situation is causing all the drama. He joined PSG in 2021 on a free transfer from AC Milan. That was a huge deal because free transfers don't happen often with players of his quality. But now, 3 years later, he only has 1 year left on his contract. What does this mean? It means PSG has a big decision to make. Did they offer him a new contract with more money? Or did they let him go and find someone else? 1 year left on a contract is like having 1 foot out the door in football. Players with this situation have all the power. They can choose where they want to go next, and clubs can't demand huge transfer fees. For Donnarumma, this timing might be perfect. For PSG, it's giving them headaches. Why PSG might let him go? Now here's where the story gets really interesting. PSG aren't just sitting around waiting for Donnarumma to decide. They are actually looking for his replacement. The French champions are close to signing Lucas Chevalier from Lille. Chevalier is younger, French, and much cheaper. He's been doing great things at Lille and many people think he could be France's next #1 goalkeeper. But why would PSG want to replace someone as good as Donnarumma? Here are a few reasons. Money talks. Donnarumma is expensive. His wages are among the highest for goalkeepers in the world. Chevalier would cost much less. Age and future. While 26 isn't old, Chevalier is younger and could be PSG's goalkeeper for the next decade. French connection. PSG might prefer having a French goalkeeper who understands the league better. This puts Donnarumma in an awkward position. Even if he stays, he might have to fight for his spot with Chevalier. And for someone who has been Italy's #1 for years, sharing the goal might not sound appealing. The competition for Donnarumma's signature. United aren't the only club interested in Donnarumma. Several other teams are watching the situation closely. Manchester City, United's neighbours, are also mentioned as potential suitors. Having Donnarumma would give them one of the world's best goalkeepers as they continue to dominate English football. There are also clubs from Saudi Arabia showing interest. The Saudi League has been attracting big names with incredible money offers. While Donnarumma is still young enough for European football, the financial offers from Saudi clubs can be hard to ignore. Turkish giants Galatasaray are another option. They can offer European football and a chance to be the undisputed #1. What does Donnarumma want? This is the million-dollar question. What does the man himself want to do? Reports suggest that Donnarumma is in no hurry to make a decision. He's willing to wait and see how things develop. This makes sense, he holds all the cards right now. If he stays at PSG, he'll have to compete with Chevalier for the starting position. That's not ideal, but PSG are still a top club competing for the Champions League every year. If he leaves, he could choose from several interesting options. Each club offers something different: Premier League football with United, guaranteed starting position elsewhere, or incredible money in Saudi Arabia. The fact that he's not rushing suggests he's carefully weighing all his options. And why shouldn't he? This decision will shape the next few years of his career. The timing factor. One thing that makes this situation more interesting is the timing. The transfer window doesn't last forever, and decisions need to be made soon. PSG want to finalize their goalkeeper situation before the new season starts. If they are bringing in Chevalier, they need to know what Donnarumma is doing. United are also keen to sort out their goalkeeper position. They've already had enough problems in goal, and they don't want to start another season with uncertainty. For Donnarumma, waiting too long could mean missing out on good opportunities. While he has the power now, that could change if clubs move on to other targets. What this means for football fans. If you're a United fan, this news is exciting but also nerve-wracking. Getting Donnarumma would be amazing, but there's no guarantee it will happen. How many times have United been linked with great players who ended up elsewhere? PSG fans might be worried about losing such a quality goalkeeper. But they might also trust their club's judgment in wanting to bring in Chevalier. For neutral fans, this is just great entertainment. Transfer sagas like this remind us why we love football. The drama, the uncertainty, the what ifs, it's all part of the beautiful game. What happens next? So what should we expect in the coming weeks? PSG will likely finalise the Chevalier signing soon. This might put pressure on Donnarumma to make a decision about his future.